So what is SSL and why should you switch, or should you switch? Well, SSL stands for Secure Socket Layer, and here's the definition from the internet. It's a standard security technology for establishing an encrypted link between a web server and a browser. The most important part of that is that all data passed between the web server and the browser remain private and integral. Now, what do we mean by web server and browser there? Well, the browser is your Chrome browser or Firefox or Safari or whichever browser you're using to look at the internet. And the web server is the place where the website you're trying to look at is being stored. So all communication between that server and your web browser is encrypted. If you put in any confidential details into a form, let's say, on that web page, then you know that the information is going to be encrypted before it's sent, which makes it a lot more secure. You may also hear about TLS, and this stands for Transport Layer Security. It's a newer and stronger protocol, but quite often when we talk about SSL, we're actually talking about TLS or SSL as being the same thing. It's basically SSL is the predecessor of TLS. So we're talking about layers of security on web pages. For this technology to work, once a secure connection is made to a web page, the session key is used to encrypt all the data that's transmitted between the visitor and the web server. Don't worry too much about what that means, but when the web browser connects to the server, it will request the server's identity so that the server provides the certificate, the SSL certificate, as identity, but also the server's public key so information can be decrypted on your local machine. So why would you want to use SSL? Well, we've already suggested one reason is that if you're entering confidential information, you don't want hackers to get access to it. And information is passed from your computer to a server where a website is located. Imagine if you're buying something online, you enter your credit card details, your address, security numbers, anything else like that, passwords. If that information is not encrypted and hackers get hold of it, as in a standard HTTP connection, then that information will just be as text and they'll be able to read it like a book. So we want all that information encrypted so that even if hackers did get hold of the information, they couldn't do anything with it because they wouldn't have the key to unlock the information inside that. Another good reason for using SSL is for the secure padlock that you get in the address bar of the browser when you're on a secure website. This will give your visitors confidence in itself. And as you can see there, I've got two examples. One is Secure, my Life of Van Gogh site, which I've fully converted. And the other one, look at that browser address bar. It says not secure. What happens if somebody comes to your site and they see that? Well, it's a warning sign and they might just hit the back button. Now, I have to confess, this not secure screenshot there is actually because I modified Chrome somehow. Let me just show you that. I've gone into what's called the flags settings inside Chrome, and I've said here that I want to mark non-secure origins as non-secure. In other words, always mark HTTP as actively dangerous. Now, the reason I've done that is that if you have a site that takes credit card details or passwords and you don't have it secured, then that is exactly what Google is going to show. They're going to show this not secure to warn the visitors. At the moment, if you have a website and it's not secure, but you don't collect visitor information like passwords and credit card details and stuff like that, then you won't get this not secure. Instead, what you'll get is the current default setting. If I just save it as the default setting and relaunch, then you can see what the default setting, and I'll go to andyjwilliams.co.uk again. And you can see it doesn't actually say it's not secure. You've just got this little I, which if you click it then says your connection is not secure. But that isn't as much of a warning sign as the one I showed you here when I set Chrome up to actually show the warning that you would have on the site if we were collecting the sensitive information. The point is here though, that flag is in Chrome and Google at any point could flick it, which means that they could decide that all insecure sites are going to be marked as not secure, and maybe that's what's coming down the line. Another reason you might want to switch to HTTPS is that Google has already stated that it is a ranking factor. It's not a very strong one now, so don't expect to switch to HTTPS and suddenly get better rankings. But in the future, Google could tweak this and turn up the importance of this ranking factor to try to force websites to move over to the secure connection. So in this course, what we're actually going to do, we're going to install a free SSL certificate to convert your site to secure HTTPS. And it's not going to cost you anything to do this. As with anything that's free, there are a few compromises that have to be made, and we'll discuss those later in the course. But if you're running an e-commerce site and you have credit card details sent to your site, or you collect customer information, then I would probably look at buying a certificate with maybe a little more security and using that instead. The process of installing is exactly the same as you'll see in this course, but instead of using the free ones that we're going to use and create in this course, you'll just be buying one and using that instead.